Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Paul, and I'm going to narrate the foreword from the book Big Men Fear Me by Mark Bourrie. I'm not narrating the entire thing. I'm just going to give you a few paragraphs. The Forgotten Man. This is a book about a man who many people, including those at the center of economic and political power, expected to be Prime Minister of Canada. Instead, he died mysteriously when he was just 47 years old. You've probably never heard of George McCullagh because he's been deliberately erased from Canada's history. Toronto columnist Robert Fulford called his biography one of the great unwritten books in Canadian history. Well, here's his biography. It will be up to you to decide whether it's great. So, who was George McCullagh, and why should you care about him? George McCullagh was a media rock star. He was the most powerful and dynamic man in Canadian publishing. He was also a giant in the nation's sports world. He was co-owner of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Toronto Argonauts, and had one of the best horse racing stables in Canada. McCullagh moved easily among the elites of the Western world, and though seen as a flawed man by those at the very top of Anglosphere governments, was feared and respected. A poor boy from London, Ontario, who dropped out of school in grade 9, McCullagh founded the Globe and Mail in the depth of the Great Depression when he was just 31 years old. The Globe and the Mail and Empire had been around for decades before McCullagh came on the scene, but they were moribund newspapers that were dying of bad management. He hammered them together and made them the country's most powerful political newspaper. And he deliberately gave the paper its strange name because its initials were, still are, GM, the same as his own. McCullagh worked his way up from nothing by hiking the back roads of rural Ontario, selling newspapers during the terrible recession that followed the end of World War I and the 1918 flu pandemic. While he rose from those dusty roads to a reporting job in the newsroom of the Globe, he dragged his own ball and chain. As a young man, he was an alcoholic. Booze masked the fact that he was also bipolar, and that turned out to be the thing that stopped him from becoming a national politician. In the end, it was probably mental illness that killed him.